We are working on the virtual reconstruction and presentation of objects that don't exist anymore, of heritage that is neglected, destroyed, forgotten. And we are using for that virtual and augmented reality technologies. We work a lot with museums. We are creating digital content for museums and in a way complementing the physical exhibitions that sometimes can be tedious and not so interesting with virtual reality experiences of the past times. Also, we are producing VR movies with 360 cameras, and that kind of movie is a place where the viewer is in the middle of the shot and he can look around and the plot and actors are acting around him or her. So the main contribution to the science and also to the technology in this area from our side is the methodology of interactive digital storytelling. We are telling stories through the modern media using guidelines given by the experts in all the media that are involved in storytelling nowadays, in digital storytelling. And one of the projects where we actually tested that methodology first time was Horizon 2020 Aymara Culture that started 2016. And we were actually with the colleagues from the consortium dealing with underwater cultural heritage. Underwater cultural heritage is the least accessible because in order to see it you have to dive. And at first not many people know how to dive or certified to dive, but also you cannot dive in the archaeological site. Only the archaeologists can do that. So we collaborated with partners from Cyprus, from Czech Republic, from Portugal, and we created 3 test sites and we presented them through this digital storytelling. Also, our expertise is that we use live actors and not computer-generated avatars, because we believe that only a real human can convey that emotion that we really want to convey in the stories. So now I will show you the second video, which is about what we did in that project. Very proud with the results of this project, and it was also featured in Euronews, and the Commission was very happy about the results. They were featuring us in several events, and following that we started to do a lot of projects also in the region. In order to show you how the region of Western Balkans can collaborate nicely, I will mention the project Roman Heritage of the Balkans, because we wanted to work with the people from Serbia, Montenegro, and Albania in order to show that the whole Balkans region was a part of the Roman Empire. And we selected 2 sites per each country. we went there to record 360 videos, and then we input in that videos the 3D reconstructions of the temples or amphitheaters, and also we put our actress to play the various roles from the Roman times history. And now we can play the trailer of that project that will show you what we have done.
I am Minerva, the goddess of knowledge. I'm taking you to the excavations of the imperial city of Viminatium, a Roman military camp that was built in the 1st century and lasted until the 7th century. I am Minerva, the goddess of knowledge. I'm taking you to a Roman city in the immediate vicinity of Plevna, which we refer to as a Municipium S. I'm taking you to the Roman city of Doclea in Montenegro. I'm taking you on a tour of one of the Roman monuments in the Balkans, to the villa in Mogorilo, near Čapljina. I'm taking you to Butrint, an ancient city in the south of Albania, which provides an archaeological evidence of ancient and medieval cultures. I'm taking you to the one of the most famous Roman monuments in the Balkans, located in Durrës. It is a 2nd century amphitheater, the largest of all in the Balkans.
So you would view that through, thank you, sorry. You would be watching that through
VR headset.
Yeah, and
yes.
it'd be 3D and it'd be very immersive and
Yes,
yeah.
actually it takes you to the travel to the past,
Yeah.
because you see at first what is in reality, and then the reconstruction pops out and you see what you are actually watching, what remains are, which building was there, you know, because most of us don't understand the archaeological sites, what was actually there. So this was a nice experience, and last but not least, I would like to give you an exclusive, because now we are running a project called She Leaders VR, or we are translating it in Bosnian language Vladarice Balkana. It is about the queens of Balkans countries in the medieval period. And it is about the queens from Bosnia, Serbia, Montenegro, North Macedonia, and Albania. And we selected 5 queens who were actually ruling, not only the wives of kings, because surprisingly, even in the medieval times, there were female rulers here in the Balkans. And we reconstructed their castles, and they are telling stories about their lives, but it is more than just an experience. It's an educational VR game where the user has to perform some gameplays and collect some artifacts in order to solve the mission and to get to the treasury room at the end of the experience. And this summer, we are presenting it in each of the countries, also in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It will be in the National Museum of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And now I would like to ask just to see first the trailer, and then we will talk about the gameplays.
hurry, because time is ticking away.
So this is the project that was maybe the most complex of all our projects. We got a Creative Europe grant to facilitate the budget of this project. If I may ask now to start the last video, and I will talk over it and explain a little bit more about what it consists of. So there are 5 countries, 5 different objects that are now in ruins, and we reconstructed them through first 3D modeling, and then we composited over the video of those locations. We composited the reconstructions and the actress. If you can just play the video, please. So now this is the gameplay video that actually presents what the user of the VR headset sees. Of course, first they choose the language, and it is in all the languages and English. And then when you start the game, you will have a kind of cinematic video to explain you the mission, because it is intended for museum visitors. And of course, the curator will always be with them to help them to facilitate the game. Because it is the challenge with these applications is that everybody can come to the museum. So it can be a child or a gamer or a person that is not used to VR. So we try to facilitate all of those target groups in this game. Not to make it too complex and not to make it too simple. So here the voice is explaining what is it all about the queens. I have to say that we work and usually work with an extraordinary artist from Bosnia and Herzegovina, an illustrator called Emir Durmišević, who is really very thorough in this medieval illustrations and all kinds of illustrations he is doing. And he studies a lot history before he's making these illustrations. So now after the cinematic will be over, we will enter in the central room of the castle that we invented with 5 doors. Those 5 doors will lead you to different countries. And when you enter in each country, first the digital story will start with the queen telling you about her life. After 3 minutes of story, you will have a task to find an artifact that belong to that queen, and to collect all 5 of those artifacts in the central room. After you finish that, then the mission will be completed, and the treasury, we call it treasury, another room will open, and then you will have all these objects in front of you and information about them, because our goal is to have applications that are entertaining but also educational, and we need to find a right trade-off between those 2 aspects, not to overburden the person with information, but also to make it quite amusing. So this is just a hint. This is a tutorial that we skip here, and this is the central room that you see with those doors that lead to each country. So that's basically it. This video continues for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Is a long experience, but I just wanted to illustrate, to show you how it works. And also there is an interesting feature of VR headset where you can switch off the virtual reality and turn on the cameras. So you can give the user a hint in which direction is the secret object. Mm-hmm. So the user can see it better. So basically you see now these are the doors that lead to different countries. You can teleport yourself, or you can also use the joystick for movement. And then when you open the door, you will enter in different country. Now I think the first one is Macedonia. This is Montenegro. You enter, and then the 360 digital story will start with the queen that will tell you about her life.
Well, congratulations. I mean, this is going to do so much to preserve culture for future generations. Let me ask you, how advanced is this technology for the region?
Well, the technology is still expensive for general use, as it is everywhere in the world, because the headset is about 700 euros, so not everybody can afford it. But that's why our strategy is to buy them for the museums.
Yep.
And then people are maybe even motivated better to visit the museums. We already have our experiences in 4 Bosnian museums, and they are also shown in the demo. We have 2 battles from the Second World War. We have this Roman application. We have one in Trebinje about the Austrian-Hungarian period. So the idea is to show people the technology, and then probably it will spread as soon as the price goes down. You remember how it was with mobile phones.
Sure.
And now everybody has it. And we believe it is a kind of future media.
And you could have this in hotels, could you, possibly?
Absolutely, yes.
Yep.
Our hotels are still not that smart to introduce this, but we are always open to give our content because we are non-profit organization. We are not selling these things. So if any hotel or even one tour operator from Sarajevo now is interested to install this in his office and to show to the tourists as a beginning of a tour. So there is a lot of potential. It is still not so much recognized in the region, but we hope that it will be in the next few years that we will be able to introduce it better. And also there is augmented reality technology only on mobile phones. It's very similar, but you don't need the headset, and
Right.
that's maybe more accessible to the general public.
And I guess just finally, I mean, this is basically the result of collaboration. As you say, you've got all these creative people that you're working with, historians, and then collaboration as well across the region.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, absolutely. Not only across the region, we have a group from Ireland, a company that is working on these projects with us because I know them from some previous project, and really the geography is not a limit at all. Nowadays, people work remotely, so it is not at all a problem.
Well, can I say, hopefully some of you will be able to try this in the near future. Once more, thank you so much for coming along and showing us this. And congratulations, as I say, for preserving a very important job, preserving the culture, the heritage, tradition of this amazing country and city. So thank you very much. Professor Selma Rizovic. Thank you.
Thank you.